It's opening day in the Swamp as Playmore has its very first game of a brand new season in the P4G League. We're going against the Miami Donphans coached by Kyle A. Tyler, it's very exciting to see what this new roster has in store for us.
It's a new roster. It's an entirely new format with this lower tier league. So not only are we not really familiar with what's on our team, we're not really familiar with anything. Well, I'm not. You've got a little bit more experience with this, but that makes it so much more exciting. We get to see new Pokemon shine in new ways. I can't wait. This is going to be an awesome season.
I couldn't be more excited for this season, and it all begins with this very first battle. If you want to see the more in-depth team builder, that is always linked in the description. But looking at the team we have this week, it's an exciting one. Let's see what our opponent brought. And there's our fearless coach. There's the mascot Bubby, and there is no Ceruledge, Tyler. That was the biggest worry Ben had in general. Just surprised was Pokemon allowed to be in this lower tier league. I mean, past that, I don't see any big surprises here, but what's standing out to you?
I'm fascinated to see how Hydrapple is used because that thing can be really, really strong on the other side. I'm not particularly scared of Zebstrika, but it's worth noting that is the Terra Captain on the other side. And from the notes coming into the battle, from what we've read up on, it can do a lot of different things. I just love the team that we've brought to this battle, especially their Tentacruel. I think Tentacruel Loki might just be the MVP of this battle.
Yeah, especially with Zebstrika, what you mentioned, it's going to have Sap Sipper. It's going to make it very difficult for Superior. Once we get rid of Zebstrika, I think Superior can clean up the battle. That's going to be a thorn on our side. Zebstrika, or Tentacruel will be a thorn on their side. They're going to kind of be back and forth, very frustrating. Do you think Porygon 2 can really slow it up?
I think it'd be so annoying.
Yes, it can, and it will be. I love seeing the Tentacruel lead. But before we get into the battle, Tyler, exciting news! Play-more.store, we have a brand new merch drop for all of you Play More fans. An incredible brand new shirt with the one and only Bubby on it. We got a brand new sweatshirt for all of you Play More fans. Have it boldly across the chest. We have a new restock of the Bubby plush. But that is something you can check out after this battle. It's time to get into week one goodness with Araquanid starting. Tyler, I don't think that shiny bug can do much to our shiny jellyfish.
I would counter by saying I don't know if it can do quite literally anything to this jellyfish.
Fair. my bad. When you're right, you're right.
I don't. I mean, it's got the webs. It can slow us down, which is big because we've got one of the faster teams in the format, as we've talked about a couple times. But this is why Tentacruel is here. It's going to wall off most of what's on the other side. And in a lot of situations, you're just going to have to make some kind of switch.
Jake Paul!
All right. That is certainly some kind of switch.
That is very interesting, as Tentacruel was going to be our switch into Hitmonchan often. Now, this is just telling us that a Thunder Punch is on the way, or at least he's going to try to scare us out with a Thunder Punch. But getting a Toxic off on that is not a bad thing at all. Now, I do assume we will switch. We have the Rocky Helmet. You know, there's not going to be easy recovery with the Tentacruel. But I feel really, really good with this first turn. Get a Toxic on this thing. Really make sure it can't stick around too much. And Tyler, if it does want to go for Drain Punch at some point in the battle to gain health, we got Liquid Ooze Rocky Helmet on this Tentacruel. Jake Paul, not going to last too long.
The only thing that I worry here is if it does try to get a bulk up off the switch, but we'll see if they go with the hard Thunder Punch, which I think you'd almost have to in that situation. Love Flip Term on Tentacruel, by the way. We talked about that during our draft analysis. Makes it so much more viable. Or an Earthquake, okay.
Well, and you were saying you're a little worried about the bulk up, which is fair and makes sense, but let's not forget that we have a giant table on our side, which isn't worried about a single physical offensive move. It doesn't matter. And now Ben can immediately Terra up. What is this thing going to do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I don't know that there's not particularly much on the other side that can do anything, but because of that, I do expect Ben to be a little cautious with the table because he knows if the especially offensive Pokemon are chipped away or out of the equation, nothing's touching Avalugg at all. So we might want to be a little careful with it here early on. So I'm not surprised that this is the play.
But I absolutely understand what you're saying there with him being careful. I think that's one way to put it. I'm going to be a little bit kinder to the coach and say aggressive, knowing that Hitmonchan can't do anything, make the switch, predicting that switch out. And now we're back at turn 1, which we won handedly. Like, we got a Toxicon whatever we wanted.
Yeah, let's just do it again.
Let's do it again. What's he going to do? Send in Jake Paul?
Send back in Jake Paul?
Jake Paul, he's not boxing a 60-year-old man today. He's going against Tentacruel. That's a matchup he wants no part of. He does not want the smoke with Tentacruel. We all know that. So let's see what Kyle does here, because I'd be fine with him having a second Pokemon poisoned on the team.
It's either that or Jake Paul again. Those are literally the only options.
Well, actually, I did forget.
We forgot about this guy and his salt.
Well, he's got the most complicated moves and then abilities. They have so many different effects, but the main thing with this ability that I actually care about is you can't status it, which does make it very frustrating, and I do think this Pokemon will be a thorn in our side the entire battle. Flip turn, just so nice to have on Tentacruel, but it's going to be interesting to see what Ben wants to bring in against this Minecraft-looking dude, as we're going to see it a lot this battle.
Superior is the switch every single time.
Yeah.
I don't think that he wants Salt Cure doing much damage, and the Covert Cloak gonna help take care of that 100% here. Every time that Garganacl comes out, Superior was gonna be that counter.
I'm glad you said that. I'm already thinking too many steps ahead of the battle. I've looked at the matchup so many times, and I saw Covert Cloak, and this is what I saw. Garganacl into Superior into Zebstrika. Garganacl into Superior into Zebstrika. And it's just going to happen over and over and over and over again, as we really need this stupid Zebra gone to be able to get those Leaf Storms off. But we can whittle it down, and Zebstrika is not something that's going to be able to heal up throughout the battle. So I think we win in this exchange every single time, but I do suspect that this little guy will be a thorn in our side, Tyler. There's a lot of thorns in my side. Did our opponent bring an annoying team? Yeah, but so did we. This
Speaking
duck is
of
so
annoying,
annoying.
my word.
Oh, I did say we had to be on the lookout for that, Tyler. Was our opponent smart enough to make sure we wouldn't get the special attack boost with download? They were. That's great prep on their side. Would have been so nice to catch them slipping just a little bit. But now we get a very free switch into Crocodile, as there is nothing Zebstrika is going to be able to do to that thing.
And the good news with Porygon, we mentioned this in the draft, but just to bring it up again, if you don't know why this thing is suddenly good, a Violite makes it a defensive tank to where we could just throw it out over and over again. And specifically against Zebstrika, there's going to be very little that they can do to whittle away at Porygon 2.
Now, this is a pretty interesting situation. You know, Brick Dump over there could definitely do some damage to Crocodile. There's no question there, but getting Stealth Rocks up, yeah, that is what Ben is going to go for. It just feels like this is the opportunity to do that. There's already been a lot of switching. You know, we don't want Crocodile to take this damage, but I think it's worth it. I think it's a smart thing to do, and I mean, Hitmonchan would be the way to get rid of hazards on the other side of the field, and that thing's already toxic. We're not worried about it. And the switch was made. Fantastic play by Ben.
Okay, I was wondering who Five Throats was. What's up, brother? Carry on.
just an insane team on the other side.
Now,
this is how you start a season.
We already had, and this is why I love the Roxas more. We've had at least one pair of boots were knocked off.
Yes.
And I would suspect there are at least a couple other pairs on the other side, because our team, when you look at it, you see 2 or 3 different Stealth Rock options been made sure to draft hazard heavy. But it's what makes Crocodile, who on the surface is a great attacking Pokemon, can be such a great support Pokemon. In weeks like this, where the set is not built towards being the one that's going to pick up a lot of kills, it can be out there for a lot of different utility.
And this is a Pokemon that we really talked about before we jumped into the game. Hydrapple could be one of the scariest things the opponent could bring. So I really do understand Ben staying in, getting that knockoff off to get rid of Assault Vest. Yachi Berry. Okay. And I think we should be able... Oh... I was going to say we should be able to live that one easily, but Tyler, what is it, a 30% chance to double its attack?
Yeah, and they got it up on the first one. As we know, if you're a long-time viewer of the channel, if you're a first-time viewer of the channel, it doesn't change the facts. We are the luckiest team in draft. If there's a number that can go our way, it's going to every single time. Yep. Yeah.
Not ideal, and it does put us in a tough spot. Now, to be fair, I think Ben was fine going for knockoff and then just, a grass move taking us out. I think this is a trade he was comfortable with. Hydrapple's going to be incredibly frustrating. We got some good information with it. We can take that thing out with a single Ice Beam at this point. I'm pretty confident, but we do want to make sure we can keep rocks up on our, opponent's side of the field. If we lost Crocodile just to knock off one item and for rocks to get spun away immediately, wouldn't be my favorite. If we can keep rocks up successfully for the battle, fantastic, way to lose a first Pokemon. And I feel like we're in a really good spot. Now, I feel like this is a no-brainer situation. Like, you have to bring in Porygon 2. If we don't bring it in here, we are in trouble. But the question here is going to be,
and that time we got the special
predicting?
attack boost, so that's big.
Yes.
I'm with you here in terms of Ice Beam's obviously the very safe play. Do you bank on that Hitmonchan and try to go for a Psychic? I don't think that would be their switch. So Ice Beam probably the safe move here. And now it's going to hurt my feelings when they go into Hitmonchan.
Well, and if they... Oh, he's
Even
back.
Better. There's our guy.
Yeah, it's... hey,
your
guy. Your guy. You can hold that one. No. Whoo! So, he's back. Now, Hitmonchan, if they do bring it in safely, we can always bring in Tentacruel, and then the Rocky Helmet damage will basically kill off the Hitmonchan. Between the Toxic, Rocky Helmet, they would get rid of rocks, but that thing would be basically gone. So it would work out, and it's almost like we would be losing the Crocodile to get rid of the Hitmonchan, kind of force it into a bad situation. So I'm not too worried about letting it come in for free. But as this battle progresses, I mean, Kyle's team is really, really hard to break through. And with that recover, I just don't know what the early game strategy is to get rid of Mr. Minecraft over there. As
I'm gonna make a bold statement.
Okay.
And I know I said this is my guy. I'm not the biggest fan of Garganacl. Okay? Just in terms of style, I'll be honest, I'm a very offensive guy.
Yeah.
This is the opposite of that. It's built to just sit there and not move. We're gonna have to make it move. And that's why this is our counter. If nothing else, Superior, great Gen 5 Mon, by the way, is going to make this thing do something.
I said it earlier. I've been expecting this for, ever since I saw the team preview. We go from the Minecraft to the Snake to the Zebra. Now, what Ben does this turn could break that little chain, but I don't think there's a question of what's about to happen here.
As much as we'd love to set up the Leaf Storm spam right now.
I think we might just win the battle if we were able to do that, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I would love that.
That'd be so cool. That would be awesome.
Great. What a birthday present for the Mineral. I mean, come on. Just win.
Now that, you brought it up, and that's the scary thing, because this is the birthday boy battle. Now, if the birthday boy battle...
I'm putting the pressure on the coach.
The birthday pressure is...
Week 1, new league. It's his birthday. We've got Jake Paul on the other side.
Yeah, no, I'm buttoning the soup. It's a big occasion. This is important. This is everything. I mean, it's not as big as a championship, but it's number 2. You can't lose the birthday boy battle. But the stupid Zebra's gonna make this very frustrating. And as much as I would love for Ben to be able to go for Synthesis, here, we can't with the overheats. We need to, at some point, heal up. But if we ever heal up knowing the Zebstrika is going to switch in, then it gets in for free. At some point, we do win this exchange. but it is a little frustrating. And Tyler, do you see anything right now that's popping up to you of how we could possibly break through this annoying core, or is that still a mystery? Is it shrouded?
Well, to me, the breakthrough comes with the fact that realistically, Zebstrika has not been able to do much. And so each time it's come out, it's just taken a free hit from our side.
Yeah.
So we've been whittling away at it. And while the status quo is slow, Ben seems to be content. We've seen the same sequence twice now. Every time it happens, we've gotten damage off on Zebstrika, and the punishment has been very little outside of having to look at this dude some more. So if it just keeps repeating that way, the end result is Zebstrika's gone. Now, would it take a while as things have gone? Probably. I'd prefer to speed it up a little bit, but so far there haven't been much repercussions with Zebstrika out there.
And I think the big question now is who is going to strike first? Who is going to break this chain?
Somebody's going to have to.
And I completely forgot. I talked about how we had Porygon 2 to soak up hits from Zebstrika separately. But, I mean, that's a part of the chain. It's not 3 Pokemon. It goes Minecraft Snake, Zebstrika, Duck. It just always happens. And, wow, that is where...
That's a super effective move on this little duck, and it did nothing.
Get used to that play, more fans. The other teams may hate us, but that duck's going to be quack into the bank. It's expecting a big contract after this season. But hey, it's a little early to count numbers. We got to bring in the snake here because this is just what we do. Now, the unfortunate thing is we have to go for synthesis, so we're not going to be able to get damage on the Zebstrika.
We'll get our free damage in the cycle. I'm really interested here to see what the other team does. This is a completely new situation, foreign to us. I'm fascinated to see what the move is on the other side. John, as a draft league, I would venture to say pro, with all your experience. What do you see happening here?
Well, Kyle he's no slouch. He's been in the game for a long time. He knows that he cannot keep this cycle going. And as soon as Ben shows synthesis, I mean, this cycle is over for our opponent. He cannot just keep bringing in Zebstrika. So something new has to happen. He's still at an advantage, right? He has more Pokemon than we do. In theory, he's winning the battle, but we can see the cracks start to form. So I'm not entirely sure what his strategy is going to be to break this, but I can't imagine we see Zebstrika switched in more than one more time in this situation. And here we do see the Araquanid, a really, really good switch in, as it's going to force us to change up in a pretty big way, and we cannot keep Superior in here. Now, the beauty for us is we have a pretty well-constructed team, and I think we just bring in Jelly Belly over there.
Yeah, that should be its name, as we've discussed with Ben.
It was a long conversation.
Yeah, there was a lot of discussion about that. But I think when we talk about one team had to do something to break this up, I think a lot of that pressure was on the other side. I think because of how things were going with the Zebstrika, Ben perfectly content to just keep whittling it down the way that it was. So I saw that breaking point come from the other side, and now we see how Ben responds, because even though he's kind of having to be reactive here, it still feels like the way that this is all played out has put him on the front foot. Yeah, because we have seen this matchup many times before.
The really interesting thing is it's not just that you switch Zebstrika in on the Superior. Zebstrika outspeeds Superior. Yeah. So you also need that thing to prevent the Superior sweep. Now, I don't fully understand the switch into Zebstrika here. It was a really good play. It worked out, but any little damage that this thing takes is so scary for our opponents, as it's just getting closer and closer to getting out of there. Now, it's a really good matchup for him against Tentacruel. We don't have a ground type, but what is this thing doing to the Rubber Ducky? Now, Tyler, I've used Zebstrika a lot in the lower tiers. Back in the 5th gen days, I know you loved those days. This thing just is not that powerful. This is going to do -5 damage, and we can recover that up like it's nothing. Zebstrika is really good for the speed. It's really good for the Sap Sipper. It's great for just the end of the battle cleanup. But mid-game, it cannot break through. But I stand corrected in a few ways. It did allow him to bring in the Hitmonchan, and now the ball is in our opponent's court. Is he going to go for Drain Punch, Bulk Up, or Thunder Punch? What are you expecting, Tyler?
I personally am cheering for Drain Punch. because I want the strategy with Tentacruel to pay off.
Yep.
I wouldn't be Thunder Punch.
Oh,
is
rapid
super
spin.
safe.
Duh.
Yeah, that would probably be the way. Yeah, that would we would remember that's a move. Cut out the discussion. We're gonna go from. Okay, John, just go ahead. Nobody will ever see this. Go ahead and predict that it's going for rapid spin in 3, 2, 1.
I'm pretty sure our opponent is going to be going for rapid spin here. It's very important to get rid of the stealth rock so Zebstrika can be switched in freely and last longer into the battle.
I agree with that fully. That was some great right off the top of the old noggin analysis. That's our guy.
Now, a well-timed Thunder Punch could be huge, but Tentacruel's biggest job at this point is dealing with the Hitmonchan. So I think Rapid Spin is the best and really only play that's going to help him long term. And that's what we do see.
And we called that.
I gave you far too many options. Far too many options. That did not include that one. But as I did say earlier, because we got the Toxic on this thing, it sucked that we lost Crocodile and rocks are not going to be up for the battle, but Hitmonchan is in a really, really bad position. It can't heal up with Drain Punch here. There's a good chance we can maybe not take it out, but basically leave it mostly dead with Sludge Wave. I think it makes the most amount of sense. It looks like Ben is going for a calc here. We have stepped up our game this season, so we actually can do some calcs.
Yeah, we can access it too. I mean, we're on the same page.
Ooh, okay. Thunder Punch, it does look like if Ben is correct with what is, anticipating 72 to 85%, I do think we live that every single time. And with the Swords Dance, this was the correct move. You know you can live a Thunder Punch. You can't worry about that. And with the Sludge Wave and the Toxic, this thing has one more hit. We have Liquid Ooze. Unfortunately, we are probably going to lose Tentacruel in this spot. But no, I was wrong. The Toxic damage. Okay, we unbutton for the birthday boy. We're having fun. We're feeling loose. This is how we break through, Tyler. Wow. Look at us.
Winner
thought
of that encounter. And that's what makes Tentacruel, I mentioned it coming into the battle, to me felt like the MVP of this. Just because of, one, it's such a tank, but two, it's such a scary Pokemon, both defensively and the fact that it's still got some usefulness on it offensively.
Yeah.
There was no scenario there where Hitmonchan escaped. Tentacruel is already done, even at this point, you can stamp it, it's already done everything it needs to do in this battle, and I don't think it's done.
We live any hit from the Zebstrika here. Now, we don't necessarily need to take the damage, but I don't see... Now, it could just go for a free Volt Switch to get damage off and bring something else in. And if they did that and then brought in the Minecraft dude, we can't Toxic it, so... It could be worth switching, but knowing that we can soak up a hit here, it could be worth just soaking up, seeing what Kyle wants to do on the other side and getting some damage. And that looks like what we're going to see here.
Yeah, and realistically, it still can't do too much damage.
No.
Tentacruel is such a bulky Pokemon.
And we're seeing two not similar Pokemon, but in terms of speed and not a ton of special attack. Actually, yeah, they're both speedy and they both have 80 special attack. They're just, the damage output is not there. Tentacruel able to pick up, the kill, or help pick up the kill on the Hitmonchan with the Slud Wave and the Toxic there. But things have to get weaker for these Pokemon to really thrive. Obviously, there's a difference in investment. Tentacruel not being super specially invested, Zebstrika being specially invested, but you want to use these things to pick things off late into the battle. I feel really good about our positioning because at some point that Zebstrika is going to be off the field and then that Serperior is going to run loose. I also really like that we maybe will get a free Toxic off here. Is Kyle really going to want to switch in? I don't know why he had to name that thing Bricked Up, but is he really going to want to switch in?
That's my guy. That's my guy.
On a possible Surf prediction? Because what the heck is this thing doing to Tentacruel? As you said, nothing.
In theory, and this could be a really bad calculation on my part, but because the thing that makes the Araquanid scary is that ability that doubles the power of Water-type moves.
Yep.
It looks like it's at least a little bit of a roll. If it wanted to stay in here and go for liquidation, on the Tentacruel, if things align with what Ben thought, there's a 6% chance it would have gotten the kill. I personally wouldn't take those odds. It looks like that was the choice on the other side. This was the right play, as much as I hate to see Bricked Up back out there on the field again.
Yeah, I don't want to see anyone bricked up out on the field. It's just not what I was hoping to see this game or any other games this season, I'll be honest. And now we're stuck in the same cycle, but it's a cycle, Tyler, that we're going to end up winning. Superior was able to heal up last time, and at this point, I mean, I can do a little... I'm letting it go to my head, the fact that I have the damage calcs at my fingertips. Is there a chance Dragon Pulse knocks it out? Yeah, Dragon Pulse would knock the Zebstrika out, and we haven't shown Dragon Pulse. I mean, it'd be foolish for us not to have it, but you have to go for it here. No, the prediction!
This is big. And there was no hesitation. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I love the zero hesitation moves from Ben because that lets me know he's cooking and he's thinking a move ahead at every turn. And when he gets into that mode, oh, he's relaxed. That's our coach. He's ready to go. He is settled in.
See, I like the prediction, but I do not think staying in could work in any situation for Kyle. Now, switching into Zebstrika also does not work. I think he's in a losing spot here. So that's why I'm worried. I like the prediction from Ben, but what could this Pokemon do to Superior here? We've already seen Body Press does nothing. We have the Synthesis, and he could go for Salt Cure, but he stayed in. He stayed in, and that is a big, big mistake. Freaking-tastic move by Ben. I stand corrected. He could stay in and go for that Iron Defense. The problem is, though, if Ben had just gone for the Dragon Pulse and then gone for Leaf Storm...
The same thing happens.
I still don't... Fantastic play by Ben. He does not lose regardless by going for it. It absolutely helps him a lot in the spot. It just, in my mind, did not make sense for the opponents, but... One of the things I really loved when I played competitive Pokemon, Tyler, was reading the opponent, playing a game like this long enough where you could get a feel for how they wanted to play, and he, at the perfect time, just could tell what Kyle wanted to do. Nailed it. No notes here. The only issue is he's going to get a maximum of 1 kill because Zebstrika is still around and still outspeeds with that Overheat, and I have to assume Overheat does have a chance to kill, I think. It would do... Oh, yeah, no, it does 214 to 254.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and you don't stay in on that, but a kill is a kill.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we are fully in the advantageous position. And
no way! No way!
It's just going to let it go.
Hold me back! Hold me back! Oh, my God! Tyler!
Yep. Yeah.
Tyler! Wow, we are in it! The birthday boy! It's a birthday boy bash!
I'd love to say that he fully expected that, but he looked just as shocked as we did.
So much more shocked than we did. So now here is a question, right? We are at +2, which is very exciting, but the Araquanid, he was a little bit quicker. I couldn't sound smart. I don't know if we can take it out here. And it doesn't look like Ben wants to risk it at all. I don't think he wants.
I don't think it's worth the risk now.
No, because we should be able to win the game with Superior if we play our cards right. And we can't risk a miss, right? If we miss a Leaf Storm here, it is absolutely over. But that's a Zebstrika switch in there. Maybe I was completely wrong. Kyle was in such a bad spot trying to maneuver with that Zebstrika. Just going for the safe Leaf Storm probably works 9 times out of 10, because what's Zebstrika doing to us anyways?
Yeah.
My bigger point was just our opponent could not win that spot. Nope, they could not.
And that's huge. We've talked about throughout this battle the importance of Zebstrika, particularly.
Is he Specs? He's Specs. That's so cool.
So at this point, we mentioned earlier we want to Leaf Storm willy-nilly. If we're able to get rid of Araquanid, and even when it's still in there to a degree, there's a little bit of gamble if you want to, but we're in willy-nilly Leaf Storm City.
Man, when I was looking at the teams back and forth, I really looked at Avlug's like, wow, this seems like such a great Pokemon to bring, this, that, and the other. Oh, it could Terra into water. That's going to be great for Araquanid. And I kept looking at 50 special attack, but then Water Bubble. I was like, huh. I don't think this is going to do what we want it to do against that thing. Seeing that Hydro Pump, it brings Avlug a little bit more into question. Obviously, the big difference here is if we saw... what is it? Mr. Bitterblade? Is that what it uses? The Ceruledge?
Yeah,
It changes things a lot, but it is so odd to have a Pokemon that all it does is hit you with water moves. We have a giant table that turns into a water table to take hits, and we can't even switch it in here. I do really like that little tech, but at this point, is there anything you're really worried about outside of Hydro Pump just constantly hitting?
I don't think so. I think at this point for Ben, it is all about setting it up for that ending sequence, which is likely going to be Superior coming in and cleaning up. So I think everything now just comes down to making sure that happens cleanly.
We may have missed it. Is this a choice specs or Araquanid? Is that what Ben was getting very excited about? I was just so focused on other shenanigans happening. I think that probably was some sort of crazy choice specs, because that did a butt ton of damage.
Did a lot.
Yeah, it did. It did what the no one would say butt ton. I'll be honest.
Yeah, we don't have to say butt ton. We don't have to say that. No.
Oh.
But we'll take the butt ton of a special attack boost from what's virtually a nasty plot combined with an attack there.
Yeah, and one thing that Ben did say in the notes is after he gets a Leaf Storm up, he should be able to kill with a Dragon Pulse on this thing. So that is what he said in his notes. I mean, I could check really quickly. I'm not sure if that is still the case.
Yes. It's hard to tell with predictions, or at least with the calcs from my end. I'm an amateur. We don't know exactly how much health is on the other side. You kind of look at the bars and make sure they look the same. It could be a roll.
Yeah.
Depending on exactly how much HP is there. And in this position, again, I wouldn't be surprised if Ben doesn't want to risk it, because if you save Superior, more than likely you win this battle.
Well, and that's something that is really big in Draft League. It's not always the most exciting to hear, in a live commentary as someone's debating back and forth. But in this situation specifically, something that you don't really think about a lot in Pokemon is damage rolls. Now, that is infuriating. That is so infuriating. But
with
every
time 30% chance.
Every time you go for an attacking move, it's going to be doing a range of damage. It's not just a set amount. So when it comes to a competitive battle like this and everything is so specific, I mean, that Dragon Pulse was going to be doing between, 330 to 390. That is an absurd range. A difference of 60 back and forth. And when you're really going back and forth trying to figure out, are you going to be able to kill? Where is the bar? All of these different, things of mental math. Part of the beauty of Pokemon is just having to guesstimate rather than knowing, because once you know those itty-bitty details, it gets a lot more frustrating. Some of my final battles in Draft League were decided on damage rolls, and I'd had enough of it. I had it up to here with losing on a 70% chance, and it's I did 229 instead of the 230 I needed. This was fun. And I could say all of that at this point because, Tyler, I'm feeling pretty good about the position we're in. Ben is really playing it safe to make sure he can clean up at the end. And at this point, he now has an unfortunate new objective, which is bring in table, spin in circle.
Yeah, I think we want those webs gone, because the big thing with Superior is it's a fast, slithery snake.
Yeah.
But that's why the table's here. It just absorb hit. Now, this is a little scary because we've seen what this Araquanid can do. But if it's choice log like you mentioned earlier, then that's not as much of a concern, and it's just clean this thing up.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to be something we'll have to talk with Ben at the end of the battle.
Hey, there's Bert! To see Bert. What have you been doing, buddy? Just hanging out in the back. First time we've seen Bert. It's been 30 minutes. Good to see you, pal.
We may have overlooked things with Tentacruel, but at that point, Tentacruel kind of lost its use in the battle. The thing with our table is there's nothing in the world that Piloswine can do to the table. It hurts my feelings. I love Piloswine, but This is a really, really bad spot for Bert to be in. There's no Ernie.
You could say that Ben really just turned the table. Be here next week, same time. Subscribe.
Yeah, this is why they pay you the big bucks.
Hit that bell to get notifications.
Now, oh my God.
That's a heavy table.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Okay. All right.
You rarely see a pile of swine without the Violites. So I'm not used to seeing damage like that, but considering that our table does have recover, we are just completely free to do this. And now that we got that very lucky crit, hey, the fickle beams were fickle, but now with that crit, we're going to be able to go for the rapid spin. We're going to take out the pile of swine.
Oh.
Okay. Never mind.
Bert wanted to hang out just a little bit longer. No, and I get it. It took this long for Bert to get to come out in the battle. If I'm Bert, I'm doing whatever I can to make sure I get at least one more turn.
I don't know what he's cooking, though. I have no idea what he's cooking over there.
That I don't know either, besides just letting us get a little bit more Bert.
I do like Bert. I do love the yellow shiny. I'm having a lot of fun with Bert on the field. There way too much Garganackle. Not enough Bert.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you gotta rapid spin here? I mean, unless we're predicting a switch possibly. Like, you know, the indoors to make sure this thing can stick around a little bit longer and switch into something. But, I mean...
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we outsped after the rapid spin, I guess it didn't matter at all anymore.
Hi, Bert.
I guess there could have also been the ability to recover up and then rapid spin, but I think we're in a spot where we win the game if we let the table die.
In that position, it's just, as much as we love Bert and the 45 seconds we got to chat with it just needed to go. It doesn't really do anything for the other side by letting it stick around if you do, but there's no punishment there for just taking it out.
And what we've seen in this battle, something that we haven't seen much in the first two seasons for Play More of, the style of play that I'm accustomed of seeing from Ben. It's something that I would do often where you have the win, maybe not in the bag, but you're putting the win in the bag and you just go into safe mode. Pokemon is a game where Fickle Beam can be the fickliest fickle thing and just do a billion damage over and over and over again. Things can always go poorly. If you have a chance to lose to a crit, you could just lose to a crit. It's happened to me before. It'll happen to someone again. So Ben has really been playing his cards as perfectly as he could, setting himself up so that no crazy things can go on. And with the sticky webs, like we saw, he had to be very careful because sticky webs could have actually ruined his plans of playing it safe. There was a chance he may have been able to win with Superior earlier. If sticky webs go up, he could absolutely lose this game. So by playing it safely, but also keeping the table in his back pocket to make sure that the webs just could not go up easily, he really put himself in a fantastic position. And as long as the webs do not go up, we are in a really good spot. And I'm pretty sure, Tyler, we're going to see the slippery snake. Hiss, hiss, hiss. We're going to see a leaf storm. Leaf.
It's time for a leaf storm willy-nilly.
That's what we've been waiting for.
Gosh, that was such an epic Terra turn, too.
Or Marco, does he just want to give Marco some kills for fun? He's bobbing his head. He's doing a little dance, little birthday dance.
That was one of Ben's biggest notes on Marco after the draft. He thought that this is a Pokemon that could be in contention to be the kill leader this season. We haven't really seen that in this battle. So, just a little chance to show it off.
Do we need to investigate our coach, though? It feels like stat padding. Have we... He's going for overheat. He could miss this.
Don't miss. I want this to be cool, so hit. I'm only doing this because I think it's cooler.
Now, I'm not saying that any of our two owners might have taken the over on kills for Marco and asked for a favor, but I may or may not have slid the Beneral one of my trusty silver dollars.
Oh, no, wait. Tyler.
Just for this
I don't think you can do
magical
that.
occasion. Wait, no, it's all in house, you know.
Okay,
Betting
yeah.
on us, yeah.
It's not.
I
There's
didn't ask him
there's
to
no
lose.
regulation in Draft League.
No, where's the Draft League betting commission? I hope there's not one. Amigo can tell. Yes, that was great to see. Just from a pure team standpoint, great team play. Yes.
I'm going to remember this come award season. There was no reason not to bring in Superior.
Well, it's all about team morale. You want everybody feeling good after week 1. Like everybody got to contribute and make one of the 2 owners some money. Not that part. No.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on. Now, the thing here is we do have the ability to go for the boosted acrobatics now. So either way, it worked. And I guess because of Regenerator, to be fair, something I did not think about, we probably would not have been able to kill with the Dragon Pulse even after the Leaf Storm. So I think I may have been wrong there. That's a hand up, birthday boy. Don't slap me. You give me a high five. The hand's right here. It'll be great. We'll have a great time. But I don't think we're going to be able to kill here with an acrobatics. So this battle is not over yet. When we had a chance to take out that Hydrapple, maybe it was a little scary, but we are in a tougher spot. I do think the Rubber Ducky is up for the task, but it is a little bit scarier than I thought it would be at this point.
The Rubber Ducky has been up for every task. Now, that task just got a little taller. Admittedly, I don't love that.
Dude, if I see Fickle Beam, I will scream.
Yeah, let's all the rolls have gone in our favor. Like every time there's been a chance for something to happen, it's gone the way we've needed it to.
Oh.
Okay, well that's
we outsped.
That was great.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we psyched ourselves out there. We psyched ourselves out.
Is it 16 stat points faster in speed? Maybe.
The nasty plot was just so confident that I just assumed, there was a reason to boldly go for it.
It could have been max speed investment. We don't know that,
It just was so confident. I was willing to trust Kyle. Like, okay, there is a vision that you are seeing here.
But there's our guy.
Don't say our guy. No. Hey. Hey, come on. Ben, what do you...
Come on.
Get the damage rolls. End the battle. Let the confetti fall for your birthday, Ben. The birthday boy bash in week 1. But you know what? This is how it should have ended, Tyler. It always needed to be the snake versus the salt rock monster. Don't you say our guy. Don't you dare say our guy. It should be the snake versus your guy. My guy Superior.
My guy.
Your guy over there.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be. We're not against each other here. We're all on the same team.
Hey, man, you're saying what you're saying. I trust you. You're your own man. Whatever you want to say is whatever you want to say. I just know that we're starting the season
These are 2 well-respected competitors.
We are starting this season off with a fantastic W. I'm calling it. There's no shenanigans that could possibly happen to ruin my day here. And this is a really fantastic feeling, Tyler. Just watching this battle, seeing how this team operated, knowing all the other threats we have saved for future weeks. I'm not going to declare anything ridiculous week 1. That would be foolish, and I'm not even in my mind. But I can promise fans nothing past the regular season. But I can promise a fantastic regular season. This is going to be a lot of fun. I love low tiers. I love this team. And as we saw, it wasn't just a Superior show, Tyler. I'm pretty sure every single Pokemon on our team really showed out, with the one exception being the #1 overall pick.
Now, I'm going to say this quietly. I really hope that this turn is their Superior show, because there's a chance that this doesn't kill.
Oh, I think this is going to linger longer than it should.
No, just do the thing.
Okay. Yeah. Woohoo!
Yeah, Ben. Yeah. Woo-hoo! Birthday roll. Birthday roll. Woo!
I think what Ben was really worried about there was just he eating a W?
At least didn't eat the frog. I mean, come on.
That is a wild thing to see. He might have been worried about the miss because obviously we knew Garganackle is not outspeeding and sweeping the team at that point.
Yeah.
Unless I've missed something. Fantastic way to start it off. And you know what? It's time to talk to the birthday boy himself, the Beneral.
It's always good to get to chat with the Beneral, but it's even better after a win, and it's the very, very best after a win on the Beneral's birthday to start a new season. Ben, this is a very simple one. How are you feeling to start the season this way and to get a W on the day that a legend was born?
Tyler, the dub feels great, brother. Starting off 1-0 on the birthday is great. And you know, you're right. A legend was born today. Monkey D. Luffy. Shoutouts to my GOAT. But yes, 2 GOATs were born on this day. Cinco de Mayo, I share a birthday with my favorite character in the world. That's just so sick. But I'm happy. It's a good birthday. It's a good birthday. Starting off with that dub. I'm very happy with how the team performed. Played very great. I was making those very quick, snappy moves at the beginning. And then I started playing a little safe, playing my sacks like I normally do. But then I got cut in my head a little bit. Differential came into mind for a second, and that's why I made those Blaziken plays. Mainly the U-turn upset me. If I just clicked acrobatics, I 2-hit KO'd the Hydrapple. I was just like, Fickle Beam. Because acrobatics into a non-boosted Dragon Pulse from Superior, just neutral without the Leaf Storm buff, probably wasn't going to KO Hydrapple, which sucks. If he had enough bulk, which he probably did considering he had a Yachi Berry, so he was ready to take some hits. So I just kind of wanted to play a little bit safe around the Hydrapple, but then I immediately forgot about, what happens if I don't KO Garganackle. I'm relying on that. Because if I just KO'd it there, it was fine. But also, I shouldn't have risked the Psychic with Porygon 2 on Garganackle. I knew I was more than likely not going to kill unless I got the max roll. The 100% guaranteed win there, I just go Hard Blaziken. And then I just click Close Combat until I die. Because there's nothing he can do about it. Even if he goes for Recover there, and then he's at like maybe 75-80% after leftovers and stuff, Blaziken Close Combat brings him like all the way down to like that 20-25% again, and if he Iron Defenses, he just dies to the next one. So that was my proper set of plays there. Really put myself in a scary situation where if I missed Leaf Storm, I might have lost. I think I had to miss 2, but I could be wrong. So, but yeah, I feel great. It's my birthday. Give me a birthday in the comments. Happy birthday, Beneral. That's me.
This season, Playmore was lucky enough to get the #1 overall pick, and as we leave week 1, it was really the weak link this battle. All 5 other Pokemon really showed out. How are you feeling about the team overall right now, knowing that all of these other members can step up, even when the #1 overall pick doesn't carry the squad?
John, Crocodile might have been the first kill, but I don't like using the word weakest link. Every member in the team this week played a great role. Crocodile knocking off the item on Hydrapple being the Yachi Berry, so Porygon 2 could pick up the guaranteed Oko at any point in the game with the download boost is huge. Those rocks were very helpful to weaken Zebstrika. Even though they didn't stay up the entire game, which kind of sucked, they just went a long way for Croak. So definitely did his job. He was just, kind of the most, #1 to throw away kind of at that point in the game, which is what it is. I needed to sack at one point, and I also didn't have to risk, him making a double on Porygon 2 or getting the Fickle Beam and everything like that, and having Porygon 2 get too weak, because then Zebstrika could have been more of a nuisance. It would have been an entirely different game. So, yeah, Crocodile played a great part still, but I feel great about the team, man. I really love this team. It's just it is the definition of me. There is one change I'm looking to make towards week 3, but that's not anything to worry about right now. And it's not really going to change the team too much in general. But I'm just so excited, dude. I mean, a lot of these Pokemon I've used before, not just in general, but in low tier, specifically Blaziken and Frostlass I've used on the exact same team in low tier before. I even used Serperior, I think on that team actually, without Contrary, and it was still a great MVP. We banned Contrary in that before, and man, I just love low tier. For those who don't know, I even commissioned my own league at one point for like the APA, and it was all low tier and everything. It's my favorite format, 100%. So I really hope we're able to pick up a tremendous amount of dubs this season. But at the very least, all that really matters is get that championship, and starting 1-0 is a great start. So I'll see you guys next week for week 2.